Loyalty may be the most important trait a leader needs to look for as they develop their team. You cannot build a bigger, better, faster, stronger organization with people who are disloyal to you, disloyal to your leadership, and disloyal to your vision. That's why every leader can and should expect loyalty from their team. Welcome to the Ware Show, a podcast for leaders who want more and won't settle for less. Straight talk to help you lead better, live bolder, and not lose yourself in the process. If you're serious about going to the next level in life and leadership, you're in the right place. Welcome to another episode of the Ware Show, where we talk every week about growing personally and professionally, going to the next level in life and in leadership. And if you've been with me for a while, I just want to say thank you for that. Thank you for your support, for your encouragement, for your kind words, for your comments. I love that you're on this journey with me. If you have just recently found me, maybe somebody you know sent you a link or you stumbled across it in your feed or whatever, welcome to you. I'm glad that you're here. And my hope, my desire is to add value to you and to your leadership each and every episode. Today, I'm going to start what I guess will be something of a series on a topic that I've actually been sitting on for a long time because I wanted to make sure the timing was right for it, and I wanted to make sure that I could deliver it in a way that resonates and that's helpful, which I'm going to do my very best to do over these next few episodes. I'm going to talk about the topic of loyalty and how important loyalty is in leadership. And my take on this is probably going to be a little controversial, probably going to get some people upset and ruffle feathers and all of that. And I just say that's a good thing. If I don't ever piss anybody off, then I'm probably not doing my job in the leadership space. If you know me, you know that I have strong views. I've got strong opinions, but I come to those things through a lot of hard-earned experience. Okay, these gray hairs did not come on their own, right? I've earned every bit of that. So, of course, you're welcome to disagree with me, but I have arrived at this perspective for a reason. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by just showing you my cards, and then I'm going to unpack that. I'm going to back up why I believe what I believe about loyalty and about how it impacts leadership. Loyalty is one of the most important qualities in a leader and in the team that they build. And loyalty is a character issue. Loyalty is not a skill. It's not a proficiency. It is a posture. Loyalty is not a competence issue. It's a character issue. And good leaders, good team members need both. We need competence and we need character. We need to exhibit and we need to expect loyalty in our leadership and in our organizations. Maybe you've heard it said that competence will get you in the room, but character will keep you in the room. And I believe that's true. I've learned this the hard way on my leadership journey. Maybe some of you have too, that sometimes your competence can get you in the room, but your character can't sustain you in that room. Okay, you're good on the outside, but you're not as good on the inside. And you're talented and skilled, and so you get the opportunity, the position, the title, whatever it is, but your character, what you're made up of on the inside, can't keep you there, can't hold you there, can't sustain you there. This is why I believe leaders should always be working on their character as much, if not more than they're working on their competence. And loyalty is a huge character issue. It's absolutely essential to be successful over the long haul in leadership. And I believe it's also desirable. It's an attractive quality that a leader should be looking for as they build their team. And I know in the modern era that we're living in, there is pushback on this idea of loyalty. There's distrust of leadership. There's distrust of authority and all of that. Everybody, of course, is looking out for number one. They don't trust the people around them. They'll stab you in the back to get ahead. They'll throw you under the bus. They'll sabotage you, whatever the case may be. And because of that, disloyalty runs rampant in every organization, every industry, for-profit, nonprofit. It feels like nobody cares about anybody but themselves. It's a massive problem that I've seen play out in organizations I've led, and also ones that I have the privilege of coaching and consulting in. And so my view on this may be out of step with current trends. It may be considered, old school or old fashioned or whatever. I don't care. I think that it's right, and I think that it's healthy. Here's what I believe. Every leader has the right to expect and should expect loyalty from their team. And people who are uncomfortable with that are already disloyal at heart. I learned that from my leadership mentor, Dr. Mark Rutland, who I mention all the time on this podcast because he's been so instrumental in shaping my view of leadership. And among all the lessons I learned from him, this may be one of the most important ones, that leaders should expect loyalty, period. Now, I want to say this at the get-go. Loyalty is a two-way street. Leaders should expect loyalty from their team, but they should also exhibit loyalty to their team. Okay, if you don't give it, you won't get it. That's why you have to create a culture of loyalty in your organization that flows from the top down and from the bottom up. Loyalty can and should go both ways. And while leaders should absolutely expect loyalty, it should be required on your team, it should be required in your organization, but they cannot demand loyalty. Okay, you can expect it, but you can't demand it. Real loyalty, true loyalty is never coerced, it's never forced, it's never done under compulsion. Loyalty has to be voluntary in order to be authentic. Loyalty is intensely personal. It has everything to do with the who. People say that they're loyal to the mission of the organization, but not the leader of that organization. And they just don't get it because it doesn't work that way. People buy into the leader before they buy into the mission. They buy into the visionary before they buy into the vision. That's why loyalty is never to the purpose. It's always to the person. Now, when we use the word loyalty, what do we mean? Here's what I would say. Here's how I would sum it up really simply. My definition of loyalty. Loyalty is affectionate allegiance. Loyalty is affectionate allegiance. Loyalty is aligning your heart, your energy, your effort, your soul with someone else in a way that says, we are in this together. And if that sounds a little, soft, if it sounds, weak or woo-woo or whatever, I would just say maybe you haven't yet experienced how powerful it is to work on a team or to lead a team where loyalty is the prevailing quality. When you're in an environment where people are loyal to each other, I'm talking they're in it together, no matter what, I've got your back, you've got my back, through thick and thin, come hell or high water. I'm telling you, that is the kind of environment, that's the kind of team, that's the kind of organization where you can really get things done. Okay, you want to make a difference? You want to make an impact? You want to leave a legacy? You want this thing that you're devoting your time and energy and effort into to be something that outlasts and outlives you? Then be part of, or if you're the leader, build something where loyalty is the dominant tone, where this is the prevailing culture. Okay, you see this in the military, you see it in law enforcement, you see it in high-level sports teams. Okay, people and organizations and teams where what they do really matters. You see this where it's high stakes, where lives are on the line, where they live in the land of the elite. Okay, those are the kinds of environments that place a high value on loyalty. And the reason why is because I can't do my job well if I'm looking over my shoulder all the time. I can't give 100% to the task in front of me if I'm always worried that somebody's undermining me or sabotaging me or throwing me under the bus or coming at me, coming for my job, stabbing me in the back. You will never do your best work if you are in an environment of disloyalty. Disloyalty is one of the most toxic traits in an unhealthy organization. And if you participate in it, you're part of the problem. And if you're a leader who won't deal with it, you're going to get exactly what you tolerate. Loyalty is this powerful presence that you can't see, but you can feel. You can sense it. You can walk into a room, you can join up with a team, and you can tell if they're really in it together. And man, there's nothing like joining your hands and your heart with people who are working together to do something great. To have loyalty on your team means that you're with people who value what you value. They pursue what you pursue. They fight for what you fight for. They'll go down swinging with you. And you know the difference between a team, an organization that feels that way and one that doesn't. And what I'm going to do in the rest of this episode and the next one is to really tackle the problem, the disloyalty that so many of us have experienced or maybe even are experiencing right now in our organizations. And if you're a leader, what I'm going to do is lay out for you how disloyalty develops in the heart of an individual, how it spreads to a team. This literally could save your organization from going under. Okay, it's that big of a deal. Okay, because disloyal people, especially when it spreads, and it almost always does, disloyalty is like a cancer. Okay, disloyal people will sink your organization. Disloyalty is a divisive, destructive force that can totally ruin your organization if you let it. And if you're in a leadership role, you have a responsibility to deal with disloyalty aggressively and decisively. You have a responsibility to protect what's been entrusted to you from people who don't care about it and will destroy it if you let them. Destroy disloyalty before it destroys you. There's a problem with disloyalty, though, and it's the fact that nobody thinks they are disloyal. Disloyal people never think they're disloyal. Have you ever noticed, how self-deluded people can be? They never think they're the problem. Disloyal people always find a way to justify what they say, justify what they do. There's always a reason. There's always an explanation. There's always, someone or something to blame or point to, because people who lack this character quality are the kind of people who refuse to take responsibility for their shortcomings. And it almost always manifests itself in one of two ways. People don't see their own disloyalty because, number one, disloyal people believe they're being loyal to something greater. Okay, this is one of the sort of fundamental dysfunctions of disloyalty, is that disloyal people believe they're being loyal to something greater. Okay, but like I mentioned earlier, loyalty is intensely personal. It's to a person, not to a mission. And so oftentimes when people begin to show disloyalty to that person, to that leader, they hide it, they cloak it by saying that they're really being loyal to the vision, to the mission, to the purpose of the organization. And by doing so, they sort of pit the leader against the organization. They pit the visionary against the vision. And it sounds good, right? Well, I'm not loyal to my manager. I'm not loyal to my boss. I'm not loyal to my leader. I'm loyal to the mission of the organization. And man, that sounds good. It sounds noble. It sounds, sounds well-intentioned. It sounds good. The problem is that the leader is the one who's responsible for that mission. Okay, he's the person that's been put in that role, and somebody put him there for a reason. They hired him, or the board entrusted it to him, or whatever the case may be. And maybe it's the owner, they own the company. Maybe it's the CEO that the board selected. Maybe it's the pastor. Maybe it's the executive director. It's the superintendent, whatever your context is. But guess what? If that person is in that role, they are responsible to move the mission of that organization forward, which means you cannot be loyal to the purpose without being loyal to the person who's responsible for it. Okay, you cannot separate these things. Okay, so when people say that, just call them out on it. Man, don't tolerate it. That's BS, and don't be afraid to let them know that. I'm working with an organization right now in kind of an unofficial capacity. They're not a client. I just have a relationship with some of the principals on the leadership team, and we're dealing with this with some of their staff, some of their constituents. And I had to call that out when they're like, well, we're loyal to the institution, but we're not loyal to the leadership. Nope, doesn't work that way. Okay, I'm calling BS on that. I know some people will disagree with me, and I'm just telling you, you're wrong. Okay, loyalty is personal. The second reason that disloyal people can't acknowledge that they're disloyal, is because disloyal people have become loyal to the wrong person. Disloyal people have become loyal to the wrong person. Most people who I've known who are disloyal are actually really loyal. They're just loyal to themselves or loyal to the wrong person. Okay, and that's why, by the way, it's really critical that you align yourself with the right people. Okay, because the right people will elevate you, the wrong people will destroy you. There are times when you have to choose between competing allegiances. There are times when being loyal to one person means you have to sever ties with another person. In some situations, sides get drawn, and the confrontation comes when you have to choose whose side you will be on. To be loyal is to stand with your people when the showdown comes. Loyalty is the quality that determines whose side you're on when everyone has to choose sides. And there are moments you will have to choose a side. You can't be loyal to your leader and to the people who are bashing him. You can't be loyal to your boss and to your coworker who has it out for your boss. Okay, you can't have it both ways. And if you try to play both sides, you are not loyal at all. Be willing to take a stand. Be willing to be loyal even if it costs you something. And I promise you, it will at some point. Loyalty has cost me friendships, cost me reputation, cost me opportunities. But it's a character quality I believe in so much that I believe it's worth it. And by the way, I've got people in my life who have been so loyal to me, who have demonstrated to me that they were willing to take a hit on my behalf because they were loyal to me. How could I not exhibit the same thing to people around me? Now, let me say this, and it should go without saying, but I know the pushback on this topic is going to be centered around some of this, so let me address it before we wrap up the first episode, kind of in this series talking about this topic. Loyalty does not mean that you blindly follow someone, that you idolize them or worship them, or you think they can do no wrong, you turn a blind eye to illegal or unethical behavior. It doesn't mean that you willfully or become ignorant of their faults or flaws. It means that you can see the shortcomings and support them anyway. It means that you can see where they're weak and lend them your strength. It means that you can stand with them on their bad days. You can see past their bad moods. You can stick up for them when they make bad mistakes. Loyalty doesn't mean that you may never have to part ways or that you put yourself in harm's way if they become destructive. Okay, I'm not advocating for people to stay in abusive environments, but that's not what most of us deal with. Loyalty means that even if things take a bad turn, you can take the high road. You can honor what's good about the person. You can leave well. By the way, you can predict how a person will behave in your organization by how they left the last organization. If they badmouth the last leader, they'll badmouth you too. If everything was toxic at the last place, it'll be toxic here too. Did they go quietly or did they stir up trouble? Did they try to take other people with them? Did they start rumors and gossip? Did they throw a grenade in the door on the way out? You can tell a lot about someone's character by how they leave. How they leave one place is how they'll act in the new place. Okay, so this is just the first part of the series. Could be several episodes. I don't know. We'll find out how it goes. But let's review because what we've established is how important loyalty is, and that it's not a competence issue. It's a character issue. It's what makes all the difference between a high-performing team and a low-performing team. It's something every leader should exhibit and should expect. Loyalty flows from top to bottom and bottom to top, and it can and should be the culture of your organization if you really want to win. On the other hand, disloyalty is an incredibly destructive force that can totally derail your team and derail your organization. Many times disloyal people believe they're being loyal to something greater and they're deceiving themselves, or they've misplaced their loyalty in someone else. Loyalty at every level, whether you're the leader or not, will cost you something sometimes. But it's worth it to develop the kind of character qualities that will make us attractive team members and attractive team leaders. Okay, so all that's the groundwork. That's the foundation of what we're going to dive into in the next episode, which is the development of disloyalty. The development of disloyalty. We're going to break down the process that happens. It's very predictable, very easy to spot, happens the same way every time. When you know what to look for, you can keep an eye out for this. How disloyalty develops in a person and spreads onto a team. Okay, if you're a leader, this is absolutely critical for you to understand so that you can watch for it and address it in your organization. This has been instrumental in navigating leadership context for me that I've been in, and I can't wait to share it with you. I know today's episode may feel a little different. as we're dealing with some deeper character issues. But I hope it's helpful for you as you grow in your life and in your leadership. And certainly if you know someone who needs to hear this, do me a favor, and more importantly, do them a favor and send it to them. Hit the share button, copy and paste the link to them, whatever's the easiest way to do that on the platform that you are on. Drop me a comment if you're on YouTube, or shoot me a DM at the Matt Ware on all the socials, and let me know how this hit. We're going to pick it up next week, and until then, go lead better and go live bolder.